Now, in terms of the cons, number one will probably have to be John Boyega's facial hair. Now, I don't know if you can't grow facial hair. My name is Sophie Hannah and this is the CINE vlog, which is a vlog all about films, film reviews and everything to do with films. And today I'm talking about the third installment in the small act series by Steve McQueen called Red, White and Blue. But first I'm going to say, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, don't forget to press that big red button right now and also to follow me on social media. But anyway, let me get back to the film review because that's what you're here for. Now, Red, White and Blue is based on a true story about a police officer called Leroy Logan, who joined the police force I think in the 1980s. He was a scientist but had this innate calling within him to really serve and protect and to build bridges within the police force. But it went against the wishes of his family and pretty much a lot of the people in the black community because there was so much racism being leveled at black people. Leroy joins the police force and then the film explores the racism that he had to deal with. Now, pro number one for me would be the way that it showed stable family life within the black community. I think a lot of the time black families get such a bad rap about absent fathers, absent parents, dysfunctionality, abuse. That's a lot of what we see, but Leroy comes from a stable black family, which for me really resonates with a lot of the experiences that I've had and that my friends have, and just showing this family who love each other and want the best for each other. Second pro, I also liked a lot of the taboos that were touched on within the black community or the black family. Again, something that I definitely understood. So you see a lot of these, I would probably say, with Leroy's dad. So number one, his issues with homosexuality, and I really love how that was brought up because there can be, or there has been, a lot of prejudice or homophobia within the black community, just a lack of understanding or keeping to traditional ideas of what the stereotypical family should look like. Now, another taboo that it slightly touched on was misogyny and toxic masculinity. You see again Leroy's father, who is this strong and proud black man, but he's also someone who doesn't really let women have an equal seat at the table. Not his wife, not his daughter-in-law, and you see those dynamics, and also his idea of what a strong man would be, and not being able to understand that men could be different, like his son, like his nephew. And I really love that it touched on those different battles, perhaps is the right word, that I would say I've seen black men having to face. Also, another taboo that's touched on by Leroy when he talks to his dad and tells him that he's going to join the police force is like, you know, Dad, you wanted us to be more British than the British people. And this struggle that black families have, or I'm sure other ethnic minorities have as well, coming to the West to try and access better opportunities. But when they do that, when they take hold of some of the opportunities, and then older generations become upset about what that could mean. So whether that means dating outside of the race or taking a job that they feel like isn't really here for black people, and having to understand, well, what does it mean then to assimilate, and how far is that assimilation okay before it becomes a problem? And I was glad that that was touched upon, and to be honest, I probably wanted a little bit more of that, but that's probably a separate film. Another pro for me, which has been the same throughout the small act series, is just the beauty of the filming, of the cinematography, of the pairing of music with the shots. It's just such a work of art. And there's this wonderful scene where Al Green is playing as Leroy's dad drives him to the police officer training, and the car is set up so you're literally like you're a passenger in the back seat of the car watching Leroy walk away and then his dad go after him, and kind of have this reluctant acceptance looking in on this scene of intimacy and family and father and son bonding. It just really touched my heart, and all those moments are just really scattered throughout. And of course I want to touch on the cast slightly. John Boyega, who's up front as the lead character in this, and he is really strong, holding this whole thing together and really taking us on a journey with him as he really understands what it means to follow his passion, but all the complexities that comes along with that. And I also definitely have to mention Steve Toussaint, who plays Leroy's dad. Seeing this strong black father figure who's really trying to work out how to direct his family, or having to understand that his child isn't a child anymore, like he's a man and he has to make his own decisions, and seeing what his dad goes through with the police, and you really understand the complexities of why he has such an issue with his son following this particular path. But as much as there's so many things about his father that you dislike. He really does enable you to see the heart of this character and why he's fighting for this. Now, in terms of the cons, number one will probably have to be John Boyega's facial hair. Now, I don't know if he can't grow facial hair. He probably cannot. You know, it's not the easiest for every man. But Leroy has a beard early on in the film, and it was only really in one shot. Like, there was this light coming in through the science lab and the facial hair just looked awful. Like, it looked so fake. Like, I couldn't understand. I'm like, everything else seems to be going really well, but his facial hair is just a mess. But the second con for me would probably have to be the major one, and that is that this film only follows the first half of Leroy Logan's life. The film does end quite abruptly. I would say it kind of leaves you definitely wanting more, but not really knowing what happens to Leroy's character in the future or how he progresses, because he kind of ends at a difficult place. It actually felt quite hopeless. And if you don't know anything about Leroy Logan, which I didn't know too much about beforehand, I really wondered what it was all worth. Was his sacrifice worth it? Was upsetting his family worth it? For Leroy Logan, it definitely was. Like, he is someone who made contributions to the Damilola Taylor inquiry. He was also one of the founding members of the Black Police Association. He also went on to have a high-ranking role in the Met operation in London for the 2012 Olympics. He's also writing a book about his life story, and I just felt that I wish more of that had been included. I wish we had seen part one of Leroy's life in the police force, and then it had gone on to see what he achieved in the future. Just to show that, as hopeless as it can feel sometimes, changes have been made, changes are being made. Now, in terms of ratings, I rate my films according to burgers because I love them. And out of a total of 5 burgers, I would give Small Axe Red, White and Blue 3.5 stars, if I'm being honest. I think it was very good. Just bordered on excellent for me, just because of that kind of ending and the little bit more that I wanted from it. But this is also another strong addition to the Small Axe series. Now, you know I always like to end my vlogs on the film question, and today's question would be, what is your favorite cop film? What's your favorite police film? Please let me know your answers, as always, down below in the comments. And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit that red button and the notification bell so you don't miss a single thing. And always follow me on social media. The details are down below. But until the next time, I'll be seeing you soon.